So the final step, once you're confident with your changes to your contracts, is to stage your contracts to the Testnet and Mainnet networks. Staging is a step in the Crescendo upgrade process, which allows you to submit your updated code prior to the network upgrade. It is mandatory that you stage your contract updates prior to the Crescendo upgrade in order for them to continue to function after the upgrade has happened. If you do not stage your contracts by the migration date, your contracts will stop working, and you will have to figure out a way to recreate your state, redeploy your contracts, and redistribute assets, which will be much more risk than just staging on time. As previously mentioned, we recommend that you update and stage your code by the end of April. The current tentative timeline for the Testnet Crescendo upgrade is the end of May, and the current tentative timeline for the Mainnet Crescendo upgrade is the end of June, but these dates may change. However, there will be an opportunity to verify that your contract's migrations will be successful prior to this Crescendo upgrade, so that you can make changes if necessary. For both Testnet and Mainnet, migration environments will be created in order to simulate this Crescendo migration for any staged contracts. These migration environments are reset weekly, pulling in any newly staged contracts. Static analysis type checker reports will be published on all staged contracts that were not updated correctly. The staging process itself is controlled by a smart contract on the network, which stores these staged contract upgrades, but it is conveniently exposed to developers through the Cadence 1.0 Flow CLI. I'll walk you through staging this example NFT contract that we wish to stage. So all of our commands related to staging are in Flow C1 migrate. You can look and you can see all of these commands here, as well as the state migration command that we used earlier for the emulator. If I want to stage this example NFT contract, I need to make sure that it exists in the deployments for the correct account on the correct network. This will probably be already configured in your project already. So if I type in this command here, flow C1 migrate stage contract and my contract name for the given network and run it, it should stage my example NFT contract to testnet. And this will replace my old example NFT contract on the network at the time of the Crescendo upgrade. I can do the same thing for mainnet in order to make sure that my mainnet contract will be upgraded as well. We can verify that a contract has actually been staged for the Crescendo upgrade using the flow C1 migrate is staged command. So for my example, I'll be wanting to use the flow C1 migrate is staged command with my example NFT contract for the testnet network. And if I run this, it will return true because the example NFT contract has in fact been staged on the network. If it has not, it will return false. When we initially staged the contract, a preliminary validation step had been run before staging. However, this validation is not exhaustive and it may not be able to catch every error. Likewise, it may detect false positives if your contract's dependencies have not been staged yet. Validation statuses can change if your contract's dependencies change at a later date. For this reason, it's important to monitor the validation status published by the Flow Foundation for your contracts. This can be done using the flow C1 migrate is validated command, which checks if, during the last simulated migration, your contract successfully updated. We simulate these migrations weekly on Wednesdays, so I can run this command myself for my example NFT contract on testnet. You can see here, flow C1 migrate is validated, example NFT, and testnet network. If I run this, it returns false because this contract has not yet been validated. The Flow Foundation will be publishing these results so that if your contract fails the simulated update, you can determine what errors have caused it to fail so that you may correct them. So this marks the conclusion of this end-to-end tutorial on updating your Flow projects to support the Crescendo upgrade. However, there are also a number of support channels which have been made available for this Crescendo upgrade. You may ask any Cadence 1.0 or Crescendo related questions in Flow's official Discord server. So this is right here, and someone from the Flow team or the community should be able to help you out. The developer questions chat is going to usually be your best bet for asking these sort of questions. The second is the Cadence 1.0 developer office hours. So this is a special office hour that's opened up weekly Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time related to Cadence 1.0. And there's also a couple other resources that are coming soon, and these will be available on an upcoming Migration Hub page coming to flow.com. And a lot of the resources we've already talked about in this video will be available there. We've opened up a support center on flow.com where you may submit questions to the Flow team through an online form. Secondly, we're also introducing a certified partner program, which is a platform where you can find smart contract developers to help you develop your code and update your project to Cadence 1.0. All of the resources I've mentioned in this video will be accessible either directly in the video description or accessible indirectly through the Cadence Migration Hub page on flow.com, which will be linked in the video description. Thank you for your time, and we're super excited as we enter this new chapter for Flow. We look forward to seeing all of the incredible projects and developments made possible by Crescendo and Cadence 1.0. Stay tuned for more updates and support resources, and happy coding.